Hi there, Marty Ramsey here. On Sunday nights, we send out healings, and on Monday night, I have a session in which I sometimes read channeling that Spirit has given me, and sometimes I explain things about the light work itself, uh, esoteric, you might say, spiritual path. Um, I learned these things 40 years ago and by a teacher named Doris Crawford. And I taught this for a long time. And so I share the information, and I certainly suggest that you take what you need and leave the rest aside. These are certainly not things you have to subscribe to. Uh, if they help you in your daily life, that's really what it's about. Hi, Ida. Tonight I thought I would begin to explain a little more deeply about the light work itself. Uh, Certainly, when I got involved in it a long time ago, I knew it was about light per se. And we had in Syracuse, New York, where I live, a bookstore called the Seven Rays. And I knew that the Seven Rays bookstore was all about metaphysical things and spiritual paths, everything from Zen Buddhism to not so well known spiritualism books and all kinds of things like that. I didn't realize I was going to get involved as well, but I did. So, of course, going back to the bookstore meant a great deal more to me. And my teacher began to explain to me how if you look at light through a prism, it's broken down into its separate vibrational lengths, and it becomes a rainbow of colors. And that light is a rainbow of colors. And so what developed was the explanation that many, many years ago, people began to ascribe certain vibrations, certain colors to certain days of the week. And they felt that the maximum potential energy for those rays, each one part of the full spectrum of light, each of them were maximized on different days. It's why I wear yellow on Monday. You always see me in something yellow, and I have, if I can show you, a little yellow angel on, and it has I wear a teardrop to signify that we're not done yet with the world's cleansing. We certainly have a ways to go before we have purified the earth to where everybody's on ascension level. That'd be quite a feat. At any rate, I wear an angel and I wear the yellow. And it pretty much boils down to each day of the week signifying a focus of a particular part of light. And that Monday is a focus for yellow. And as I say, you can take what you need and leave the rest aside. You sure don't have to believe in a doctrine of any kind. But what we think of is that yellow indicates consciousness. We have always thought of the sun's rays as yellow. We have thought of enlightenment as yellow, knowledge connected with yellow. So we think of that ray in that way. And when we focus on the yellow vibration, we are really focusing to elevate our consciousness, to elevate our understanding and awareness. And Mondays are a good day to do that. Now, it gets even more full of information. We think there is an angel, an entity, a higher power that, how shall we say this, mines the store, keeps track of the yellow ray, works with the yellow ray, can help us expand our consciousness. And men or male aspects of divinity, not really male, but we do divide up things into male and female, and so the male energy was attributed to each ray, and now we're more focused on the female energy of each ray. So the person, or shall we say, I had a teacher who called them guys and gals and referred to the person, but you can say that it is the cella who is the student of the light. And this would be Lady Michelle. So I don't know if you want to write this down and keep it for yourself. I'm going to go through the rays each week, and that would be, I guess, the next 7 weeks. We're going to do the 7 rays, just like the bookstore. But we're going to take each one and examine it and find out who we might petition. Now, that suggests, like you might pray to the Blessed Mother, or pray to Jesus, or Saint Michael, there are others up there that you can pray to for particular things. And on Mondays, that would be Lady Michelle. That would be Machelle, or ELE. Doesn't matter which, Lady Michelle. Now, Michelle in, is it Sanskrit? Or is it Muslim? But it means light. Lady Michelle would be Lady Light. And you can petition, you can pray to Lady Michelle. We call them lords and ladies. I guess you could say saint, if that makes you more comfortable, Saint Michelle. But it's Michelle, I made a mistake of saying I thought my teacher had maybe misspelled Michelle, and boy, she came in a flash with the just beaming. Her face was just beaming at me when I realized and looked up Michelle and said, whoops, she was right. She just came in smiling at me. And it's Lady Michelle, who would be, I guess, if you want to use everyday terms, in charge of the yellow ray. And that is the ray of consciousness. It is connected to an energy center in the body. And that would be where your diaphragm is, just above your waist, between your waist and the V of your ribs, underneath the V. Right there is a little center, and we call them chakra centers. And that would be a center that is bathed in the yellow light of consciousness. There are a lot of stories of advanced meditators and spiritual leaders who meditate and what they call climbing up the golden cord. They meditate and they see that center, that yellow chakra center, as having a golden cord ascending into the heavens, and that they can climb up that cord at will, and that their students have seen that light emerging from them and going up this cord, and that when they pass, they don't come back, and that they can choose the time of that. Now, most of this is in the Indian Hindi culture and the Zen and the Buddhist cultures, where you hear these stories of the golden light and the golden string and going up that cord or string. At any rate, this would be a center in the body right there, and it is associated with what we call the solar plexus. And when we focus on that center in meditation, and I really suggest that you meditate every day, you could start with a few minutes, 1 minute, just to sit perfectly relaxed, to sit up rather straight in a comfortable chair, but straight. And then close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. And then just concentrate on your continued breathing. When you take a few deep breaths, it relaxes you, and you tend to breathe more deeply ongoing. And then you just focus on that, in and out. And when you sit up straight, it keeps you from falling asleep. And you focus on that breathing. Well, if you do that every day, you will begin to experience a change for yourself, a change in your perspective on life. Meditation does that. It allows you to become more harmonious with the highest vibrations. And as you do that every day and increase the time you will find that eventually you can sit for 10 minutes and do that. If you're a devotee of Zen Buddhism, you sit for hours and do that. But I think it's wise to begin with a minute or two. And then you find that your whole perspective changes. It certainly is suggested for lowering blood pressure, for feeling relief from tension. Meditation is a stress buster. It's good for whatever ails you. And what I'm suggesting with that daily meditation is something you can begin to incorporate into it. Maybe at first, for a few weeks, you just want to sit and think about your breathing. Try to expand the amount of time you can sit comfortably and just relax and close your eyes. In fact, I will do a guided meditation here. I've been teaching meditation for probably more time than I've been in the light work, probably 50 years. Believe it or not, in theater school. A long time ago, I went to theater school, and in that we learned proper breathing. We lay down on the floor to get diaphragmatic breathing, deep, relaxing breathing, and I started then. And then when I was teaching public speaking, I would devote a little section to deep breathing and relaxation so that anybody learning public speaking could relax before they gave a speech. Then when I got in the light work, I began to see how this worked with the light vibrations and spiritual meditation. I automatically yawn when I start talking about this stuff. I've been teaching it so long, it's just kind of automatic that I begin to relax and get meditated when I do it, meditative. So at any rate, I can begin to do this, to take us through a guided meditation. And in terms of focusing on Mondays, once you become more practiced in the art of meditation, begin to be able to release and relax and let go and get real comfortable with just paying attention to your breathing. You can then begin to focus on more than just your breathing. And when you do, it's called guided meditation. And usually you do have someone like myself talking you through it, mentioning things. And certainly on Mondays, if we did the meditation every day of the week, on Mondays it would be, if we were doing ray meditation, it would be on the yellow ray. And we would ask for Lady Michelle's guidance, and we would focus on the color yellow. There are so many things to say about this ray and this color, coordinated with the chakra center, the solar plexus, the gut. You have all kinds of attributes. You're talking about intuition. When you sense something, what do we say? I get a gut feeling about that. And that's not by accident. It's where our intuition is based, where our sense of what might be is based. We get a kind of sense of things that way. It's also our intelligence, our awareness, our ability to look at life in a way that makes sense to us. So, of course, what focusing on the yellow ray would do is begin to filter out what? Confusion. When you're confused, it's good to focus on the yellow, the color yellow, on your solar plexus when you're meditating. If you feel upset, you have decisions to make and you're not sure what way to go, rather than stay in your head. And of course, you need to think about alternatives and all kinds of things when you're making a decision. And you do need to think about those things. But also, you could devote a little time to just sitting and thinking yellow, being around yellow. There are quartz materials, citrine, citrine, that has to do with the yellow vibration. It's a yellow quartz. You can even hold that. Some people would tell you that that vibration then enters you, that you get vibrations off the citrine, off the yellow, that enhance your awareness. One of the things that awareness does is cuts back on fear. The more you understand, the more you see clearly, the less afraid you are likely to be. With understanding, there is compassion. With understanding, there is forgiveness. In fact, there's really no need to forgive because you truly see how things are. You go beyond forgiveness. There's a great deal of benefit from being immersed in the yellow vibration. And what is said is that on Monday nights, or on Monday days, for the Monday, the yellow is the vibration that reaches its maximum. So this is a great day to sort things out. This is a great day to relax and meditate on the yellow vibration. This is a wonderful day to light a candle. And if you have a sense of not wanting to have it be a fire hazard, just light a light. Light a yellow light. I know they have white lights now. That's very nice. Lots of light bulbs are still very yellow. You can get a very yellow light out of a light. You can also get a yellow light that shines yellow on purpose, that's covered with the yellow. And this is a good day to look at that yellow, to be involved in it. It will help you in your understanding. There are several other entities involved with this yellow ray. There is Jophiel, and if you look at the Anglican and the Jewish faiths, you will see him more recognized than in other faiths. Jophiel, jovial and constance. The divine complement of jovial is constance. So think about that, constancy, and then jovial. You can certainly ask jovial for vibrational assistance to help you understand, for clarity, for sensing things, for becoming more sensitive, for becoming more intuitive. Cassiopeia and Minerva are Elohim, and those are big entities, big important entities. They say the Elohim in the hierarchy are very significant, very powerful entities that have to do with the creation of the world. And Cassiopeia and his divine complement, Minerva, would be two Elohim who are also focused on the yellow vibration. So what you have is Lady Michelle, you have Jophiel and Constance, you have Cassiopeia and Minerva. You have the yellow vibration, the yellow ray. You have a ray of consciousness, of awareness, and with it the reduction of fear. You have intuition, and it's connected with your solar plexus. And for some who follow spiritual paths, it's connected to a golden cord that directly goes to higher up etheric levels, and that you would meditate to raise yourself up that cord and then bring higher vibrations back with you. I would suggest, I'm going to challenge you, that if you meditate each Monday, you're going to become more intuitive. If you become more intuitive, you tend to become more understanding of other people and less upset by their behavior. You tend to bless them rather than curse them. Now, am I talking about your relatives? Yes. Am I talking about politicians you don't like? Yes. Am I talking about anyone who upsets you? Yes. So the benefits of this are enormous. You want to feel more relaxed. You want to have those who annoy you less. Do you want to understand people better and therefore forgive them more easily? Think of the Master, the absolute supreme Master Teacher, Jesus. He understood people so well that he was able to forgive them as he was being crucified. We may never get to that level, but he had no anger. He had compassion, understanding, forgiveness for them all. This is beyond remarkable. This is truly magnificent. And we may not get there in this lifetime, but that's what we're working toward. Understanding, intuition, sensitivity, a lack of fear. He wasn't showing any fear. He didn't necessarily want to be where he was. but he was not being afraid. He was magnificent and remarkable, and we love him for it. So that is the goal in this, in meditating, and that is something that comes into focus on Mondays in the solar plexus, in the gut, in the sense of opening up awareness, expanding our consciousness, moving to become one with the universe, asking for help from different entities. Mashel, Cassiopeia, Minerva, and Jophiel, and Constance. So there you have it. This is for Monday, for the yellow ray. And each week I'm going to review a ray. And as I say, I challenge you to begin meditating, to sit for a moment or two in a comfortable but straight chair so that you won't fall asleep, and sitting up with your eyes closed and breathing deeply for a few minutes. And as I say, as we get into this, I think I may lead the group in a guided meditation so that you will be able to focus in on the rays and have a chance to go beyond just focusing on your breathing. So until then, and I don't want to start yet because I'm just really beginning, I guess you could say, to teach the light work. And I'm really suggesting that you begin to meditate. And it helps every day if you meditate every day. Just a minute or two. And don't forget to keep lower vibes away. You can say our favorite affirmation. It is extremely powerful and protective. The one that I end the healing with on Sunday night. Light, 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 light. The light of God never fails. 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 It's the one affirmation that cannot be rebuked by the darkness. Darkness cannot cut through that. So if you say that before you meditate, you are absolutely protecting yourself from any dark vibrations. And I do challenge you to do a little meditating every day. And next Monday night, I will do another ray. I may go back to the first ray, which is the blue ray on Sundays. But I wanted to start with this one to show you why it is that I wear the yellow, and why I always have a yellow angel on. You will find that no matter what I'm wearing, if you were in my home, I would have an angel for the ray on. Tomorrow is pink, and I will have a pink angel. And as I say, I wear a pink teardrop until all of us reach ascension level. And I'm pretty safe, I think, in assuming we're not going to get there right away. So I think I won't have to take my teardrop off very soon. But I wear an angel with a teardrop, and I wear one for every ray day of the week. And I pretty much wear the color. You probably would find me with a pink t-shirt on. And as I get older, at least it cuts out what am I going to wear today. Oh, probably something pink. But even if it isn't, I would wear a pink angel. So anyway, today is Monday. Today is Monday, the yellow day, the yellow ray. And today is a ray of consciousness. So let's all be aware. Let's all cut down on the fear, cut down on the resentments, and forgive and understand, and do it by meditating. And I'll tell you something, even eating yellow summer squash, vibration is vibration is vibration. It doesn't matter if you're wearing it, eating it, thinking it. You know, there's a reason for, those old cartoons of the dunce cap, the triangle, and that was really actually in esoteric stories something that gathered rays and brought them down into the person and actually accelerated their consciousness, and they were yellow. Those dunce things really were special caps a long time ago that people wore to try to accelerate their understanding. Isn't that interesting? Look it up, Google it, and you'll find that. It's fascinating. And it's yellow. They were, I don't know if you'll find it was yellow, but they were. Yellow is certainly associated with intelligence and awareness. So there you are. And that is yellow for tonight. And God bless you all. And you can do invocations if you want. Invoking is in, you know how magicians do special invocations? Well, we can do invocations ourselves. When we invoke the ray powers, we are inviting, in this particular case, yellow ray power into us. And it's okay to ask. There's a lot in the Bible that says ask, and you don't get much if you don't ask. Not said quite the same way, but that was the intention. And it's because, of course, there are certain rules. I think I've talked about this before. The Prime Directive kind of got it right, that this is a teaching planet, and there can't be constant interference by higher powers like angels. There can't be somebody upstairs who redirects things without our say so, because then we're not learning anything. So there is a kind of prime directive, and we do have to ask. And a formal asking that is often written out is an invocation. We invoke, which is another way really of saying we invite. We invite the powers that be to come to us, to help us, to assist us. So you can certainly invoke Michelle, Cassiopeia, Minerva, Jophiel, and Constance. The archangels are Jophiel and Constance. The Elohim are Cassiopeia and Minerva. And the cella of the yellow light is Lady Michelle. So you can certainly invoke their presence. If you want to go farther in your meditation than simply your breathing, you can certainly begin to invoke their help and assistance. Doesn't mean that you can't call upon the light itself on Monday or any of the other rays. You don't have to get into obsessive compulsive, oh, I can't think about the Blessed Mother and blue or green for healing because it's Monday. No, of course you can. Of course you can. It's just that what is suggested is, I think, simply a way of sorting it out for us so that we can be a little clearer in directing the vibrational energies. I think it's done on purpose to give us a chance to make more sense of it or keep to one part of it. I go back to what I said before about polishing our whole being, and that we come incarnate onto this planet with only a part of who we really are in order to focus and work on that part. Think about it. What's up front for you? What is a weakness that you have emotionally? Have you got a lot of fear? Have you got a lot of anger? A lot of resentment? Was your family full of resentment and you've gone beyond that? Was your family full of fear and you've gone beyond that? Think about it. We can't handle everything. We can't deal with fear, resentment, anger, everything all the time. It's too much for us. So we come back with something that's more upfront than other things, something we need to work on. Maybe it's even physical illness of some particular kind. We usually come with some kind of physical weakness, family inheritance. My family had, for instance, a lot of the women in my family have macular degeneration, and most of the women in my family were legally blind by the age that I am, 78, and I'm not. Now that's wonderful. I'm not even sure why, but I'll take it. It's wonderful. I don't have that as much, but I do use frankincense, and I do take supplements that I do take care of that. I take lutein, they're always pushing lutein. The ophthalmologists are pushing lutein at this point. There's debate about beta carotene and the carotenes, but most of them say lutein. So, at any rate, I came back to a family that had macular degeneration among the women. So, mine is much better. I'm doing okay with macular. So we come back with a family that has a particular weakness physically. We come back to a family that has a particular weakness emotionally, intellectually, whatever. And those are things we can work on while we're on the planet. And hopefully with yellow, we begin to become aware of what it is we're here to work on, and we work on it. And we do what we need to do. We find out what we need to do to advance ourselves in those ways. And we get better at that part. And that's why last week I talked so much about reincarnation and the fact that we couldn't possibly overcome everything we need to overcome to get to a high enough level to be where we need to be as spiritual beings in one lifetime. It wouldn't be possible. There's too much to do. We just could not do that. So if you go back over last week, you'll find I talked a lot about reincarnating. And so I feel safe in saying, Mondays are for yellow, Tuesdays for pink, and so on. Things are divided up on this planet. They're compartmentalized. We work on them one thing at a time. And that does lend itself to the concept of reincarnation, where you work on just a few things at a time that the family you came into, you chose, because they're working on those things you wanted to work on. So how about all of that? Isn't that something? It gives you pause to think, anyway, about why you're here and what you're doing and what you can do. And let's keep it limited right now to yellow. And what you can do is begin to meditate every day a little bit. And when you get comfortable enough with meditating, even 5 minutes, you can begin to focus on particular aspects of light. And tonight, I'm telling you about the yellow aspect of light, when it's broken down into all its different lengths. Okay, so there you are. Lots to think about and lots to do this week. And as I say, I think as time goes on, I may do a guided meditation. As I say, I have done a lot of guided meditating, 40, 50 years of guiding people in meditation. And I love to do it. I do it here where we have our before the pandemic, when we had our live meetings of light work. But then, one of the offshoots of not having the live meetings of light work was that I decided to begin to put it on Facebook, because we weren't meeting every week like we used to. And we are still Zooming. We're Zooming once a week. We're in our, I think, 3rd year of this particular light work group. We just have a few people here in Syracuse, but we can't really get together yet. We're all vaccinated, but we're all a little leery about meeting. And we meet at our church. We have a church building here that lets us meet, the Unity Church of Syracuse, and so they let us meet in their building, and they're not really open to that yet. So one of the offshoots of that was I decided to begin to do this on Facebook, and starting with the channeling, and it's good to read what Spirit has to say. And I think really Spirit is prompting me to begin to explain more about light work, what it is, the vibrations, all the information available, because it is helpful. If you want more intuition, more courage, more awareness, Would you wear yellow more often? Well, that gets into it can become foolishness. I wear yellow. I have to get more insight into everything. I've got to wear yellow. Okay, yes. I think I think more of the colors as touchstones to remind us. I wear yellow to remind me. I focus on yellow on Mondays to remind me that it's a day of thinking about increasing my awareness and understanding, my forgiveness, my sensitivity to others. It's just a way of dividing up different aspects, I think, of intelligence and emotion to where I can improve on them uh, by separating them out and focusing on them. It's easier to do that. If I think of yellow, I think of, yes, increasing all of those things, and I think of fears that I have. I think of insecurity. Maybe when I'm meditating, I think more of that gut sense in the solar plexus than I do on another day. Yes, I wear yellow, but I don't necessarily go around thinking, oh, I'm a lot more sensitive and aware because I've got yellow on. No, I just wear yellow as a reminder. And I wear my little yellow angel pin to remind me that Lady Michelle is around me, that Cassiopeia and Minerva are around me, Jophiel and Constance are around me. And of course, I know them all because I've been working with light work for 40 years. So I know the names are right there for me. And I can certainly pray to them, invoke their presence if I feel that would be appropriate. One of my favorite phrases, and I say this with my friend, is let's be guided. And sometimes that's true. I just think, I'll be guided now. I'll let myself be guided as to what to do about this. And you might want to invoke Michelle. So who knows? I wish you were all here so that we could do a give and take on this uh, and chat about it. But it has to end up being this way for now. And that's the way it is. So, at any rate, I will draw this to a close now. Today is the yellow day, the yellow ray, the ray of consciousness, the sensitivity. Hi, Kathy. The ray of reducing fears, the ray of reducing insecurities, and the golden cord into the etheric if you're meditating. So God bless you. If you are going to meditate each day, that's wonderful. A little bit each day, just a minute or two, you'll begin to see meditation changing things big time. So, but it all starts with a few minutes each day. So I do set up that challenge for you. And hopefully you'll join me with Healing Everything and Everybody on Sunday nights at 8:30. And thank you for your blessing of me. I sure appreciate it. I wish you a beautiful, beautiful week. Bye-bye.